Today I'm going to show you how to take apart an eGoT atomizer. This is the type A cone. We're going to take it apart, and down inside there we are going to clean the atomizer coil. Sometimes that'll get caked up with carbon deposits and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how to clean this without the use of chemicals. Okay, so let's get started with. We're gonna need some pliers, some good needle nose pliers like this, long, allows you to reach down inside of there pretty good. I'm gonna reach down inside and grab a hold of that pin assembly. Okay. That will come right out of there. So you latch on to each side of the pin, and you want to just wiggle it just a little bit, and it will come right out. Okay, slight angle. Okay. Slight angle comes right out, and the wick is there. And I'll show you a little trick with the wick here in a minute. But down inside, you can see there is quite a bit of carbon deposits on that atomizer coil. Okay, you see how black that gets. Okay, a lot of times I notice you'll get that with some of the sweeter e-fluids, but really the trick to this is we're going to do a couple different operations here. We're actually going to take a safety pin. You can pick these up obviously anywhere. If you don't know where to get a safety pin, ask somebody. I'm sure they'll point you in the right direction. Safety pin, you could check your local infant if they wear the old cloth diapers, which I highly doubt. But anyway, get a safety pin, and you want to take your aforementioned needle nose pliers and just bend a nice little hook on the end of that. You can see how it's got that little barb. That lets you get down inside of there and scrape that coil. So what you want to do is straighten that pin out best as you can, and you can reach right down inside of there and gently scrape that coil. You don't want to put too much pressure on it, because that will disconnect the coil from the atomizer. Okay. So you just gently scrape it, and you'll actually start to get pieces of debris off, and sometimes it'll just crumble so small that you can't even really pick it out of there. Best thing to do, try and blow it out. You can see all the gunk that comes out. There's quite a bit. A trick that I use is I usually take a small piece of paper towel, toilet paper, something of that, and just gently tuck it down in there, just enough to kind of pick up. You don't want to twist it on that coil again, and then just blow through this side lightly. If you feel a lot of resistance, pull that paper towel or toilet paper out a little bit and try it again. You don't want to get a lot of resistance, and you'll see all that. You can see all the little debris on there. There's quite a bit. So we've started to clean this, and what you want to do, just keep plugging away at that, scrape it a little bit. The other trick to this is we're going to do something similar to a self-cleaning oven. most of the time it's not recommended to dry burn your atomizer, but in this case, this actually helps you to clean that coil a little bit. So you want to dry burn that. While you're dry burning, you can tailpipe it once or twice. Wouldn't hurt. Quite a bit of vapor. But one of the things you want is you actually want that atomizer, you want to see it glowing red and dry. And you'll start to notice that any fluid that's left down inside of there will start to burn off. And once you get it to where it's burnt up pretty good, burnt nice and crispy, just like in a self-cleaning oven, you'll notice that it'll scrape off so much easier than when it's fresh. So you scrape that just gently now. Like I say, you don't want to scrape it too hard. Just more or less you're scraping off the bigger pieces. Once you see that coil glowing red, you're pretty much done. So if you dry burn it and you see the coil start to glow red, you're golden. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but you should see it start to glow a little bit. Okay, so that coil is cleaned about as good as it's going to get. So now we'll take it off of our battery, and this is now the reassembly process. So we straighten up our wick a little bit, and if you notice inside here, there's the wick, or the the coil runs in from one side of the atomizer to the other. Maybe it's just me, but I'm a little OCD. If you notice on the wick assembly, where the wick goes into the pin assembly, there's like a notch in there, and I like to line up that atomizer coil so it lays in that notch parallel. Okay. The other trick is if you're having trouble with these atomizers leaking on you, your wick might actually be pushed down in there a little bit. And if you'll notice on the wick here, you can push it from the bottom and start to push it up. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but right here there's this like a metal mesh. Okay, that metal mesh helps to keep that wick in there. And one of the things that I do, you can see I just bent it over just a little bit, so it actually helps to prevent that wick from getting pushed down in deeper into the atomizer. So now you want to make sure that that wick slightly protrudes from the pin. You might be able to see that. Make sure that the wick is slightly protruding, and now we can start to put it all back together. So it's the same process in reverse. So we grab our pin and wick assembly, okay, and line up that notch as my OCD self said before, straight down into the atomizer body. And I don't know if you heard that, but gentle pressure should push right down inside back into the atomizer body. So you're good to go. So now the wick and pin assembly is back in there. So now we can reassemble our e-cig. And let's see what the difference is. Let's give it a minute. Good vapor production, a lot better than before. So remember, keep your atomizers clean and don't treat them with chemicals.